It's now been a full month. February 21st, we got reports that Change Healthcare, owned by United Healthcare, was hacked. And they had to take their computer systems offline in order to protect the larger healthcare system, as well as all the hospitals, medical practices, pharmacies that were logged into their systems. We still don't know how far the hack has spread, but we do know that a month later, that the Change Healthcare systems, computer systems, are still down. Rumors are out there that they paid a large bribe, a large ransom payment to get their computer systems back, but they're still not back online. United Healthcare has brought some of its peripheral systems back online, payment processing and such, but the main core of connecting pharmacists to insurance companies and medical providers to insurance companies, that system is still down a month later. Now, we've gotten 3 primetime speeches from President Biden addressing this issue. Wait, sorry, misread my notes there. We haven't received any speeches by President Biden addressing the issue whatsoever. In fact, the Department of Health and Human Services head spent the first week touring New England with the First Lady and talking about how wonderful everyone's access to medications is. And so we didn't even see the Health and Human Services even come out with a statement until the next week. We've seen the government dragging its heels on every step of the way. And ultimately, we've seen this company just not able to fix the problems. Even though they paid the hackers this large ransom, bribe, whatever you want to call it, they still don't have their computer systems back online a month later. Now, in case you're like, well, Steve, maybe you're just blowing this out of proportion. The American Hospitals Association, which is kind of a big deal, says this. They call it the most significant and consequential incident of its kind against the U.S. healthcare system. So it's the biggest hack, most consequential hack against the U.S. healthcare system. Now, I say many tens of millions of Americans have been affected. I didn't know if we could quite say hundreds of millions of Americans, because that might be pushing it. But this computer system that we're talking about handles 1 billion transactions. That's B with a, like a B, right? 1 billion transactions a month. And the system is still down. So we've missed, let's just estimate, 1 billion transactions. Now, we're not talking about, we're going to talk about what type of impacts I've been hearing from you guys. You guys have been sending in a lot of information about what's going on out there. And I'm going to kind of just read through some of these reports of the types of impacts that regular Americans are seeing, particularly those who are up there in age, people who are struggling with medical issues, people who are on medications. Cash patients, so not just insurance people, cash patients are being forced to pay label prices on medications. Good RX cards out there. Now, some of you have mentioned that the Good RX cards apparently sell your information, so be aware of that. But the Good RX cards, I have one, which is basically if you need medications or whatever, you can get. They basically give you the price that the insurance companies are paying for it. They give that price to you as well. Otherwise, you have to pay like the sticker price, which is just nuts. They just make that number up. So cash patients are being forced to pay the sticker price, the made-up stupid number. And I've been hearing that people have been asked to pay that amount. The Good RX card was actually part of the system that got hacked, and that's still down. We have insured people who have insurance or who are on Medicare or Medicaid, being forced to pay for covered medications and procedures. You show up at your procedure, or you get your procedure done, and they're like, okay, you need to pay all of this. And it's just like, wait, I have insurance. Yeah, well, we can't verify that insurance, so you just have to pay this, or else we can't do the procedure, or we can't give you the medication. And we're hearing people who are covered insurance-wise have been forced to either choose leave without the medications, or leave without the procedures, or pay what the insurance would have paid, which is insane, right? Now, we've seen some of that, but we're also seeing massive delays. People can't schedule procedures. That's still happening today. They can't schedule procedures because the systems are down. Procedures that were scheduled have been canceled. I've heard that from people as well, that because the system is down, they had to cancel the procedures. Whether that's due to the insurance company, them not being able to confirm with the insurance companies, or whether that is just something in their scheduling system, I don't know. But we've definitely been seeing that as well. People hit with massive delays on medication. Days, and in some cases, weeks of delays with medication. And some of these medications are life-necessary medications. Some of these medications would not necessarily be life-sustaining medications, but because they've built up a dependency upon these medications, you can't cold turkey these people. And that's exactly what's happening out there. And the people most impacted by this are the most vulnerable and the least able to speak out about this. How many people have already died because of this? That's a legitimate question. We don't know. How many people have been sick, have suffered injury, or have suffered in some way? Not just inconvenience, though when I say inconvenience, some of the stories that I've been hearing about from you guys, it's way more than inconvenience. Having to spend all day long waiting in line at pharmacies, only to be told that they can't process you, and being sent to another pharmacy the next day, or being told, come back tomorrow. This is the kind of stuff that happened over in the Soviet Union, right before its collapse. And yet we're hearing that here today in America. It's been 30 days, and the computer system connecting insurance providers and pharmacists and medical people is still not back up. How long until they do bring it back up? Now, I heard whispers, and I reported those whispers to you from people high up in the medical industry, that they were hearing whispers of 40 days. Now, the fact that we have a hack that happened roughly around the time of Ash Wednesday, and the 40 days leading up to Easter, and we're being told that hack might take 40 days to fix. Just sounds interesting, doesn't it? Especially as that Easter Sunday is going to fall near to a major eclipse across the United States. It's just, some of that's just making you kind of go, what's going on here? What's going on? Is this a major planned outage? Is this a major, it seems to be a hacking attack from overseas foreign adversaries. Now, we haven't heard the words floated that they are state-sponsored, but we've heard some names that have in the past been said to be state-sponsored, whether it's the Chinese or the Russians who have launched this cyber attack. We do know that Chinese medications, which is most of the medications these days, most of them do originate in China. Most of those are short. We're not getting as many as, we're having shortages of them. Whether that's because we have so many more people in the United States than we have on paper, but in actuality, people showing up and trying to get medications, going to the doctor, getting medications, or whatever. But the problem is that the production of these medications over in China is well below what is being prescribed and what is being attempted to be gotten out of pharmacies and such. This has been going on for a little bit of time, but then we have this massive hack on top of it, making everything that much worse. When you start seeing coincidences like that, if you're a suspicious person like I am, I don't necessarily believe in coincidences. I mean, coincidences do happen sometimes, but every time there's a coincidence, it's like, is that really a coincidence or was that planned? Are there people, are there nations that are benefiting from this? And all this chaos happening out there, people are struggling to just fill their pill calendar, getting their bottles filled with medication. People are struggling to do that, and they're not paying attention to what's going on out there because they're just trying to take care of themselves and their loved ones. Is there chaos going on out there that they're trying to distract people from? Well, we got congressional hearings happening that are kind of important. We have a lot of stuff happening, campaigns that are very, very different. You have one campaign out there where the gentleman is going to see tens of thousands of people at each stop. And then you have another guy who currently resides in the White House and is not going out practically at all. And when he does, dozens of people show up. It's night and day. We're seeing if you open your eyes and look around the world and see what's happening, you're being lied to on so many different levels. And all this chaos is just distracting people from the important things going on out there. So we've also seen people's medications being shorted. People showing up for getting a bottle for 30 days or 60 days or something like that, and they're actually getting 7 days. So we've been warning people that you need to be checking the amount of medication that you actually receive. Don't just read the bottle because that is happening out there as well. When the pharmacies just don't have enough to go around, what they're doing is they're starting to short everybody so that everybody gets at least a little bit, which is hopefully communicated to them. But we're seeing insurance companies paying the full amount for the full prescription and then the people getting only a partial prescription. I don't want to use the F word, but fraud is, that's the definition of fraud, isn't it? In addition to that, we're also seeing people being just flat out turned away. Showing up to get medications, showing up for medical procedures, and they're just being told, we can't help you. Sorry. Try again tomorrow. Maybe we'll get a shipment tomorrow. Maybe we'll be able to process your prescription tomorrow. People being forced to go back to their doctors and get handwritten prescriptions because they can't actually electronically send the prescriptions over on the websites and stuff like that. The fact that we've gone back to the 1990s and before, where you actually have to get handwritten prescriptions. I remember those back in high school. And yet that's where we are yet again. Friends, let me read American Hospital Association's quote again, the most significant and consequential incident of its kind against the U.S. healthcare system. And still, we're not seeing any action from the federal government. We're not seeing any real action from the private sector to work their way around this system. We're seeing doctors and nurses and medical staff, administrators and such like that, doing everything they can, and pharmacists doing everything they can to make this not a problem for patients, and yet they're not able to fix the system that the hospital and the insurance companies have created. That's what's really going on out there. How long until we start hearing from the federal government, the system doesn't work, so therefore let's just change over to a full single-payer government-run healthcare system? A lot of people speculated that when Obamacare came in the first place was that it was designed to fail. And when it failed, they could then say, see, it didn't work. Let's go over to a single-payer healthcare system. Friends, that's where we're moving. And I believe that the implosion of the healthcare system is intentional, and that they are desperately eager to watch this thing fall apart so that they can replace it with fully socialized medicine, which I promise you will be far, far worse. All right, friends, thanks so much for watching. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up here. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.